The wind pushed against the iron gate as Adrian Vale stepped out of the taxi. The driver refused to wait. "People don't stay here after dark," the man had said before speeding away. Adrian looked up at the mansion. It was enormous. Stone walls, tall windows like hollow eyes, ivy strangling the balconies. His late uncle had owned it, though Adrian had never met the man. The inheritance letter had been short. "The house is yours now." The door creaked open when he pushed it. Inside smelled like dust and forgotten years. "Great," Adrian muttered. "A haunted castle. Exactly what I needed." His voice echoed through the hall. He dropped his bag near the staircase. The wood groaned beneath his steps as he explored. Portraits lined the walls, faces staring down as if judging him. By midnight, he had chosen a bedroom. The bed was massive. The sheets were surprisingly clean. Uncle must have had a caretaker, Adrian said to himself. He lay down. The candle beside the bed flickered, then went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Adrian sighed. Perfect. A whisper brushed the air. "Adrian." He froze. He sat up slowly. "Hello?" Silence. He rubbed his face. "You're tired, that's all?" The whisper came again. "Adrian." This time it was closer, right beside his ear. He jumped out of bed. "Who's there?" The curtains moved, although the windows were closed. A cold pressure touched his hand. Not wind. A hand. Adrian yanked his arm away. "Okay, not funny. Whoever's here, show yourself." For a moment, nothing happened. Then a shape formed in the darkness. At first it looked like fog, pale and shifting. Gradually, it became a woman. Long silver hair floated around her like water. Her dress looked centuries old, lace trailing into smoke where her feet should have been. Her eyes were painfully sad. Adrian stared. "You've got to be kidding me." The woman tilted her head. "You can see me?" "Yes," Adrian said slowly, "because you're standing in my room." She drifted closer. He backed into the wall. "I have waited so long," she whispered. "Waited for what?" Her eyes softened. "For you." Adrian laughed nervously. Nope, no. "My name is Alara," she said. "Adrian," he replied automatically. "I know." That made his stomach tighten. "How do you know my name?" "I know everything about you." "Great, that's comforting." Alara studied his face with quiet fascination. "You look just like I imagined." Adrian swallowed. "Okay, let's clear something up. You're a ghost, right?" "Yes. "And this house is haunted?" "Yes." "And you've been waiting for me?" Her lips curved faintly. "Yes." Adrian grabbed his jacket. "Good talk. I'm leaving." He walked toward the door. A door slammed shut, hard. Adrian jumped back. "Did you do that?" Alara looked almost shy. "Yes." "Open it." "No." Adrian stared at her. "What? You cannot leave." His heartbeat sped up. "Excuse me?" Alara floated closer again, her expression strangely tender. "You belong here now." "I absolutely do not." "Yes," she whispered. Her fingers reached toward his face, but stopped just short. I have been alone for 212 years. Adrian felt cold. That's terrible, he said carefully, but that's not really my problem. Her smile faded. I waded through wars, through storms, through the deaths of everyone who ever lived here. Her eyes darkened. But you came. Adrian moved toward the window. Yeah, and I'm about to leave. The window refused to open. He pulled harder. Nothing. Behind him, Alara spoke softly. The house listens to me. Adrian turned. You're controlling it? It protects me. That's not protecting, he snapped. That's trapping. Alara looked confused. Why would you want to leave? Because this place is a nightmare. Her expression changed. Hurt. The lights flickered violently. The temperature dropped so fast Adrian saw his breath. I did not mean to frighten you, she said quietly. You already did. Her voice trembled. I only wanted you to stay. Adrian exhaled slowly. Look, Alara, right? She nodded. You've been alone a long time, I get that, but locking someone in your haunted mansion isn't exactly the best way to make friends. Friends? She repeated softly. Adrian ran a hand through his hair. Or whatever this is. She studied him for a long moment. Then she whispered something that made his stomach drop. I love you. Adrian blinked. We just met. I loved you before you arrived. That's worse. Her eyes filled with a deep, desperate longing. I watched the world change from these windows, she said. I listened to the living laugh outside the gates. Her voice cracked. But none of them were you. Adrian felt a chill crawl up his spine. You don't even know me. I do. The shadows around the room began moving like living things. You are kind. Lonely. You pretend to be brave. Adrian forced a smile. Wow, psychic ghost therapy. You belong with me. The walls creaked. The door locks twisted shut by themselves. Adrian's voice hardened. Alara, open the door. She shook her head slowly. I cannot lose you. You never had me. For the first time, her expression turned frightening. Her eyes glowed faintly. You are mine. The mirror across the room shattered. Adrian stepped back. Okay, he said quietly. Now we're officially in horror movie territory. Ilara's form flickered violently, like a flame in the wind. I waited centuries, she whispered. Do you know what that does to a heart that cannot beat? The air thickened. Please, stay. Adrian's voice softened slightly. What happens if I don't? The mansion groaned. Every door in the hallway slammed. From the darkness came dozens of whispers repeating his name. Adrian realized something terrible. The house wasn't just haunted. It was alive. And it was listening to her. Alara floated inches from his face. Her voice was heartbreakingly gentle. You will stay, she whispered. Because if you try to leave, the shadows climbed the walls like reaching hands. I will never let you go. Adrian didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt it again, that cold presence near the bed, watching, waiting. The candle had relit itself sometime after midnight. Its flame burned without flickering, though no air moved in the room. Alara stood by the window, silent, staring outside like a statue carved from moonlight. Adrian sat on the edge of the bed with his arms folded. "So, do ghosts blink?" he asked finally. Elara slowly turned her head. "Yes." "Good. That makes this slightly less creepy." She studied him carefully. "You are afraid of me?" "Well," Adrian said, "you locked me in a haunted mansion and confessed eternal love after knowing me for 10 minutes." She tilted her head again. "That seems reasonable." Adrian let out a tired laugh. "Where I'm from, that's usually called a red flag." For a moment, Elara looked almost offended. "I am not dangerous." At that exact moment, the wardrobe door across the room burst open with a loud crack. Adrian stared at it, then back at her. "Your house disagrees." Elara glanced at the wardrobe like it had embarrassed her. "It reacts to my feelings." "Fantastic," Adrian muttered. "So the haunted building is basically your emotional support animal." She didn't understand the joke. Instead, she drifted closer. Adrian noticed something strange. Up close, she didn't look terrifying. She looked lonely, deeply lonely. "Why me?" he asked quietly. Elara's eyes softened. "Because you came back." Adrian frowned. "I've never been here before." "You have." She reached toward his chest. Her hand passed through his shirt, stopping just above his heart. Adrian stiffened. "You carry his blood." "My uncle?" "Yes." She turned toward the hallway portraits. "Your family built this house." Adrian followed her gaze. "Okay, still doesn't explain the obsession." Elara floated closer again, her voice almost shy. "Your ancestor promised me something." Adrian sighed. "Let me guess. Eternal love?" "Yes." "Of course." She looked at him carefully. "He promised I would never be alone again." Adrian rubbed his face. "Let me guess part 2. He died." "Yes." Classic. The silence grew heavier. Elara looked down slightly. "I waited for him," she whispered. "Years. Then decades." Her voice became thinner. "Eventually, I realized he would never return." Adrian felt a stab of sympathy. "That's rough." "But then you came." Her eyes brightened again with unsettling devotion. "You have his eyes." "That doesn't mean I'm him." "I know." "Good. But you are still mine." Adrian stood up. "No, that's not how people work." The temperature dropped again. "You do not want me?" Her voice had changed, more fragile. Adrian hesitated. "Look, I just met you." The lights flickered violently. "I waited 200 years. The walls shook. Glass rattled in every frame. Adrian held up his hands. "Okay, inside voice." Elara's form flickered. For a moment, her face twisted with something darker than anger. Fear. "Do not leave me," she whispered. Adrian softened slightly. "I'm not trying to hurt you. But you want to leave." "Yes." Her eyes dimmed. "Everyone leaves." The candle flames across the room stretched unnaturally tall. Adrian swallowed. "Elara, you're scaring me again." She looked horrified. "I am?" "Yes." She quickly moved away from him. The house calmed. The candles returned to normal. "I forget," she said quietly. "Forget what?" "How fragile fragile the living are. Adrian let out a nervous laugh.
Thanks. For a while, neither of them spoke. Outside the mansion, thunder rolled across the sky. Finally, Adrian broke the silence. If I stayed, what would that even mean? Alara turned slowly, hope appeared in her eyes. You would live here with me. For how long? Until you die. Adrian blinked. Not exactly comforting. When you die, she continued softly, you will become like me. Adrian stared at her. You're planning our afterlife now? Yes. He paced the room. That's insane. You would never be lonely again. I wouldn't be alive either. She stepped closer again, desperate. Life ends anyway. Yeah, but usually not because a ghost girlfriend traps you in a gothic prison. The words slipped out before he could stop them. Alara froze. Girlfriend? Adrian rubbed his temples. That's not the part you should focus on. But Alara looked strangely pleased. I like that word. Please don't. Thunder shook the mansion again. Then suddenly, a loud crash echoed somewhere downstairs. Adrian jumped. What was that? Alara looked toward the hall, confused. I did not do that. Another crash. Heavy footsteps echoed from the lower floor. Adrian felt his stomach drop. You said we were alone. We are. The footsteps continued, slow, dragging. Something was climbing the staircase. Alara's expression changed for the first time since he met her. Fear. Real fear. That is not possible, she whispered. Adrian backed away. What isn't? Her voice trembled. The house only listens to me. The footsteps stopped outside the bedroom door. Something scratched slowly across the wood. Adrian's heart pounded. Alara? She stared at the door like she was seeing a nightmare. There are things in this house, she whispered. Things older than me. The scratching grew louder. A deep, wet breathing seeped through the door. Adrian whispered, You said the house protects you. Alara looked at him with sudden panic. It does. The doorknob began turning. But it does not protect you. The door creaked open a few inches. Something moved in the darkness beyond. Tall, crooked, and very, very hungry. Adrian felt Alara grab his hand for the first time. Her ghostly fingers were freezing. Do not let it see you, she whispered. Why? Her eyes filled with dread. Because it eats the living. The bedroom door creaked open another inch. The scratching stopped. For a moment, the hallway went completely silent. Adrian barely breathed. Alara, he whispered, what is that thing? Her fingers tightened around his hand. I do not know its name, she whispered, but it has always been here. The door slowly pushed wider. A shape unfolded in the darkness. It was too tall. Its limbs bent the wrong way, joints cracking like dry branches. Its skin looked like damp wood stretched over bones. Where its face should have been, there was only a hollow black cavity that inhaled the air around it. Adrian felt sick. Please tell me ghosts can fight those things. Alara shook her head. It feeds on life. The creature sniffed the air. Then its hollow face slowly turned toward Adrian. It had found him. Adrian stepped back. Oh no.
The creature moved instantly. Its limbs slammed against the walls as it lunged into the room. Adrian shouted, "Run?" "You cannot outrun it," Elara said.
The monster rushed forward and slammed into an invisible force. The air cracked like glass. Alara's form blazed with pale light. The creature screeched, a wet, horrible sound that shook the walls. "I will not let you take him!" Alara screamed. The mansion exploded with movement. Doors slammed, windows burst open. The entire house roared like a living animal. The creature slammed itself against the invisible barrier again and again. Each hit made Alara flicker weaker. Adrian realized something. "Alara, you're protecting me." "Yes, but it's hurting you." She smiled faintly. "I have waited 2 centuries for someone to stay." The creature let out another shriek and smashed through the barrier. Alara screamed as her form shattered like glass. The monster rushed towards Adrian. Instinct took over. Adrian grabbed the iron fireplace poker beside the bed. "Stay back!" The creature didn't slow. Its hollow face opened wider like a mouth. Alara suddenly appeared between them again, but she was weaker now, transparent. "You must leave the house," she cried. "I thought I couldn't. I was wrong," she said desperately. "The house obeys me, but I can release you." The creature crawled across the ceiling towards them, fast. Too fast. "Elara, come with me." She shook her head. "I cannot leave this place." "Then I'm not going." The monster dropped from the ceiling. Elara turned to him with a heartbreaking expression. "You are alive," she said softly. "You deserve the world outside these walls." Her cold hand touched his cheek. For the first time in centuries, I was not alone. Adrian's chest tightened. "You don't have to be alone." The creature lunged. Elara turned toward it. Her entire body erupted into brilliant silver light. The mansion screamed. Walls cracked. The creature shrieked as the light wrapped around it like chains. Adrian shouted, "Elara!" She looked back at him one last time. Her voice was soft. "Goodbye, Adrian." Then the light exploded. The force threw Adrian across the room. The front doors of the mansion burst open downstairs. Wind roared through the halls. Adrian staggered to his fate. "Elara?" The bedroom was empty. The monster was gone. The house was silent. Slowly, the mansion began collapsing. Ceiling beams cracked. Walls split open. Adrian ran, down the stairs, through the hallway, out the front doors. He stumbled into the rain as the mansion behind him groaned like a dying giant. Then, crash! The entire structure collapsed into ruins. Lightning flashed across the sky. Adrian stood there, shaking, alone. Weeks passed. The land where the mansion once stood became nothing but broken stone and weeds. Adrian visited only once more. He stood in the ruins quietly. "I'm sorry," he said into the wind. For a long time, nothing happened. Then a cold breeze brushed his cheek, soft, gentle, like a familiar hand, and a faint whisper drifted through the air. "Adrian." He froze. The wind faded, but he smiled, because the voice had not sounded lonely anymore.
Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe for more. Thankful to them who already liked and subscribed.